Hello, everyone. Today I want to talk about Dr. Bill Bulsiewicz. He actually goes by Dr. B. He is an award-winning board-certified gastroenterologist here in the United States. And about 2 years ago, he released a book called Fiber Fueled. And the main studying that he has been doing has been all connected to the microbiome. He has studied at length what is causing the microbiome to become damaged, or in dysbiosis, as he calls it, or what actually helps the microbiome flourish. But what caught my attention is his direct relationship with the immune system and how it ties into the microbiome. For all of us that are chronically ill, this is extremely important. So as I said, Dr. B released a book about 2 years ago called Fiber Fueled, and his main focus of study regarding the microbiome has been concentrated on fiber. He feels that fiber is not getting the proper fanfare and we're just not eating enough fiber, and he ties it in directly related to the microbiome and how the microbiome is either sick or in dysbiosis or in leaky gut, as some of us call it now. I came across several of his podcasts recently, and I realized that he had some information in there that autoimmune people really need to hear. So he works really closely with the microbiome and how can he make it better? He has a lot of patients that he's actually been able to help. And what caught my attention is he's saying the opposite of what we're used to hearing online about our diets and what we need to do to make the microbiome flourish. The first thing that caught my attention from Dr. B is that he is stating that 70% of our immune system actually resides in the gut microbiome. And if the gut microbiome has leaky gut or is in dysbiosis, as he describes it, then your immune system is not going to be functioning correctly. Since 70% of our immune system is in the microbiome, he is talking about how the microbiome goes hand in hand with the immune system. And if the microbiome is sick or not doing well, then we are not going to be doing well in our immune systems. Now, his main focus has been on fiber, like I said, and what he's telling us is that a typical American diet is about 60% processed foods. And by the way, the processed foods have about 10,000 different additives within the processed foods, that we're eating about 30% animal-based products and only 10% plant-based products. What he directly attributes to our microbiome issues is not being diversified enough with the plant-based products. So for instance, about how many different plants are you currently eating in your diet? I could probably name 5 that I've had all week. And Dr. B is letting us know that that just isn't enough, that we really need to have more diversification, that the studies are showing the microbiome that is flourishing and doing better or getting better are with diets that are highly diversified in plant products. Now, you guys know that I was on keto, I tried carnivore, and none of that was really working for me. In fact, while I was on those diets that really limit what we're able to eat, including AIP and a few of the other main diets that we have out there for autoimmune, I actually became more and more sick. So I'm listening to what Dr. B has to say because I think he might have validity in the diversification of the actual plants. And perhaps that's something that I need to listen to for my autoimmune system. Now, with Dr. B, he does talk about giving up most, or if not all, animal products. And I don't want that to scare you away because I don't have any plans on becoming a vegetarian or a vegan. It's just not something that I think is right for me or my lifestyle. But I do think what Dr. B has to say has some validity in helping us get our microbiomes back on track. Something that Dr. B talks about is the keto and carnivore diets, or even the AIP diets. Are they helping us for the long term? Now, he has no doubt that some of us that are autoimmune have gone on keto and carnivore and we have gotten better. Now, that wasn't my case. I actually became worse. But one of his points or talking points is that you become better, but for how long does that last? And does it shorten your lifespan by going keto or carnivore? Now, I know these are things that can really disrupt the social media community, and we get very passionate about being on one diet or the other and what works for us. If you're doing something that's currently working for you, that's great. Don't stop, keep doing it. But we always need to be looking into the future. So if you're like me, and let's say you tried the keto and carnivore way and other AIP type diets and they didn't work for you, perhaps then there's something that Dr. B has to say that will help you. So there was a really interesting study that Dr. B cited that happened in 2014 that really caught my attention. It was a study that would take a group of 5 individuals, and in each group, they had them alternating the way that they were eating. So for 5 days, one of the groups would eat all vegetarian, and the other group for 5 days would eat all animal products. And then after the 5 days, they would switch. So the group that was eating only vegetarian for 5 days would then eat only animal products for 5 days. They measured the microbiome as they were doing this diet, 5 days vegetarian, 5 days animal products, and they were able to see how does the microbiome change as you're doing different types of diets, for instance, only vegetarian or only animal products. And the part that I found the most interesting is the microbiome was changing. So the microbiome actually changed very rapidly. So what I ate for lunch yesterday has already affected my microbiome, and it has changed. Whether that's for the better or for the worse, the microbiome has already changed with what I ate yesterday for lunch. And in the study, the microbiome changed equally as fast, and they were learning that during the keto or carnivore type diets, the microbiome was shrinking or losing in diversification. And while they were on the vegetarian diets, the microbiome was getting larger or diversifying, and it was rapidly increasing. But something that really grabbed my attention is with the keto or carnivore type diet, there was a bacteria that was actually growing and taking over more. So because you're eating foods that are higher in fat, there's a different type of bacteria that will grow and take over some of the community. And those particular bacteria that were growing, they were actually linked directly to different types of cancers and inflammatory markers. So with the group, while they were eating 5 days of animal-based products, they were losing some of their anti-inflammatory properties. During the study, they were learning that when we have a diet that's more diversified, our microbes are actually releasing short-chain fatty acids. And those short-chain fatty acids directly send us anti-inflammatory properties to help with the inflammation process. Now, to me, that was extremely important because I'm fighting inflammation and low-grade inflammation all the time. And if a keto or carnivore diet is directly affecting the bacteria in your gut, and that type of bacteria then reduces our anti-inflammatory process, I think that's something we really need to pay attention to, study a whole lot more, and decide if that type of diet is actually right for us. Now, for me, the keto and carnivore diet, I became more and more sick during that diet. I have no doubt that my microbiome is horrible. That's why I'm chronically ill. I'm beginning to wonder if during my phases of those diets, I was actually destroying the microbiome instead of building it up or making it stronger. So with reading everything that Dr. B had to say and listening to how he ties it directly into the immune system, what I'm leaning towards more is diversifying the plant diet that I currently have. Now, I'm not completely vegan. I'm not vegetarian by any way, shape, or form. I do consume animal products. But what I'm wondering is, can I diversify the percentage of the plant products that I do eat? Can I include more or different types of plants to help with diversity? And whatever percentage of diet that I'm currently eating with plants, can I move that up? Can I have a bigger percentage of the plant products? And if I did that, would it help my health in any way? would it help my inflammatory markers go down? So what grabbed my attention? A lot grabbed my attention, and I've talked about it here, but if the microbes are not releasing short chain fatty acids in the long run, we're in trouble when it comes to the microbiome. The microbiome has been directly tied to our immune systems and how we are chronically ill. I think Dr. B has a lot to say that might help us restructure the microbiome or figure out how to make it better. And what was encouraging about his talk was not only did he tie it directly to the immune system, but he let us know that the microbiome evolves and changes very quickly. So even if it's damaged, even if we're in a state of dysbiosis or leaky gut, it is possible to begin today to change that. And I've talked about it in many videos, how I'm trying to change my microbiome for the better. For instance, I've talked about and done videos about L-glutamine and how I take that as a supplement. But next on my list, and something I want to really focus on, is diversifying and having more of a diversifying type plant diet and how that helps my inflammatory markers. So if you haven't heard anything that Dr. B has had to say, you're going to want to check out some of his podcasts. Like I said, you don't have to become fully vegan or vegetarian to listen to what he has to say, to pick up on some really strong talking points and some really good studies that directly talk about the immune system and how it's directly related to the microbiome. I'll see you guys in the next video.